First of all, I like to talk with someone. Here we have Mr. Sabir Hussain, the new person. Sabir Hussain, are you listening to me? Oh, I like to know about you, Sabir.
Yes, sir.
So where are you from? What do you study? Can you please introduce yourself?
So I'm not a new one. I have been
Okay, you have been.
participating class, yes,
Okay,
for
okay.
3 or
May
4
forget.
classes. I have just changed my profile picture.
Okay, Sabir. So how many classes you have taken with the reading and writing with me?
Sir, I did 2 to 3 classes.
2 and 3 classes. So can you please share your experience, what you have learned with reading and writing, as we have conducted many classes with reading and writing?
Yes. For the writing, sir, I have got idea about how to write, how to follow the rules, and
And
what I have to ensure while writing the essay, and what should not use and what should avoid.
okay, so Sabir, have you ever uploaded your writing sample to evaluate? As I have mentioned, if you know about the way of writing task 1 and 2, and you can upload your writings to evaluators for whether you are suitable to sit for the exam or not, or you have to prepare more, take more time to achieve your expected score.
So I have to do more practice to score more, because my vocab is not that much rich, which is needed in IELTS.
Okay, so we will give you more information. So I recommend you, if you join with us in the next sessions of the courses, if you continue our classes, all the classes, approximately we will have is more than 60 classes with in the courses. If you take all the classes, I think your problems will be recovered, and you may have your expected score, as you are looking to have 6.5 score to study. So it's possible by you, if you have identify, if you have find out your problems.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now I would like to talk with some person like Sabir Hussain, Kaji Nila Rahman. Kaji Nila Rahman.
Yes, sir.
So Kaji Nila Rahman. So are you doing the first classes, or you are doing, you have already taken many classes?
Actually, sir, this is my third number class. I am a beginner, just joined last week. So I have no experience, not this class topics. I don't say anything.
Were you with me in the study classes? We have given many idea about IELTS.
Last, I don't attend the last class, so I don't say.
You are admitted with the courses.
Yeah.
Are you admitted to the course, or new? You are new participant.
Yes, I'm new.
Okay, I recommend you, if you join with us with the new courses. This is our final classes for the courses, and the next week we are offering the next session. You will join with the next session. You will have all the classes, and you will be benefited. For example, if you are looking to have your expected score, we help you to give you this. Thank you. Now I want to talk with the Rayyan Islam. So Rayyan is our all the students have taken many classes. Could you please, Rayyan, share your comments, share your view, experience you had? Yes.
Sir, how are you?
Fine, thank you very much. What about you?
Sir, I'm fine, Alhamdulillah.
So Rayyan, this is our final classes. Can you share your comment, your view? What have you learned? What is your experience with the classes we have conducted, reading, writing, speaking, or overall all of the IELTS?
So from the previous experience you shared with us, I have learned so many things about the IELTS writing part, such as how to write the paraphrase, body paragraph, then conclusion, things like that. And part two, there are 4 parts in there. We have to
So, did you try yourself to upload your any writing answer in the Facebook groups, our Facebook group to evaluate?
no
Did
sir,
you try
no
many
sir, I
times?
haven't yet submit any
I
homework yet.
suggest you, if you upload your answer script by I have recommended from Cambridge IELTS, there are lots of questions that can follow some Cambridge writing question and then upload your answer script to evaluate your score. We will give you, we will inform you your score, and we will suggest you have to do this once, and you have the linking this one helpful for you to sit for the exam, to prepare well preparation for the IELTS exam. When you are planning to sit for IELTS exam?
Yes sir, due to some problem I could submit my homework. Hopefully I'll submit my homework after a few
So
days.
are you looking to sit for exam near some in the month or next month, or when you are planning to sit for the IELTS exam?
So I couldn't understand what you said. Could you please
I like to know
repeat
the
again?
when you like to sit for the when you like to give the IELTS final exams, in the month or next month, or you need more times?
So I want to take 3 or 4 months to prepare myself better so that I can score at least 7.
Okay, thank you. You first of all confirm yourself that you will have this expected score, then sit for the exam. Otherwise, you will
Yes sir,
waste
I
your
want
money
to
and time.
score band 7. That's why I
Please
want to
do
take
for
some
you.
time.
First of all, confirm yourself. Let's have a discussion, more discussion. Because finally, we'll have some more discussions about the writing test. Reading test already have discussed. So for the writing test, we are going to explain some sort of things. So what you have to do, how you need to write down for getting our expected score. More many things were discussed to have expected score. Very important thing for writings. We need to understand the question first. Then you need to illustrate the question of our own word on language. In, for example, this is about the task one, and earlier I discussed the task one categories of task one. Please, Rayan, can you please share your comment about the task one? How many categories of task one in IELTS Academy? I like to listen from Rayan. Could you please share your experience regarding task one? Mr. Rayan Islam, can you please share your comments about the task ones?
Yes sir, I will.
Okay.
So at first I need to understand the graph, then I need to write a paraphrase according to the question that is given below. Then I need to write a short body paragraph. Then I need to elaborate that, and next I need to conclude the task.
Rayan, I like to know from you how many categories of IELTS writing task one. There are sometimes there are graphs, table, diagrams, or some proceed. How many types of the task one we need to write down? We need to learn. Do you have any idea about?
Yes sir, the way you shared a lot of things with us, I have learned so many things from you, and I think I can write down all of this.
Rayan, so the question you are watching the screen, can you please explain the question? What the requirements of the question? First of all, I would like to request you to read the question and explain us what do you understand by the question.
Sir, I have sorry, sir. So first of all, I need to tell you one thing, that this you have given us this task and I have done this before, but I didn't
Okay, you
submit
already did. You already did. So, okay, you have experience. Can you? How did you explain? Please, the question you have to explain. You already did the question, and we have some new learner. For the new learner, can you please share your experience? How did you explain? What did you? What the question is?
So should I explain what I wrote down?
Yeah, of course. First of all, if you make them understand the question is, then you can explain how did you write down the explain the question.
Sir, yes, I'll try. First of all, there is a question. The bar chart below shows the percentage of Australian men and women in different age groups who did regular physical activities in 2010. First of all, I need to understand the question and I need to write a body phrase like the bar chart that has given below the percentage of Australian men and women different age groups who did the regular physical activities. So can you please zoom out the question?
Okay, and now you can have the question and you can have the total questions. First of all, I like to add you the question. Show us the bar chart. This is the bar chart below. Show the percentage of Australian men and women in different age group who did regular physical activity
Yes, sir.
in 2010. So now we have to understand the question, what the information we are getting, we are having regarding
Yes,
the
sir.
question. Please, can you please explain the information you are having with the question?
Yes, sir. The question, the bar chart has been, and the bar chart shows that the physical activities Australian women and men does every day. First of all, we can see that the percentage of Australian men who work regular activities is higher than the women. As the work goes on, we can see the Australian men has not, their regular activity hasn't risen up that much, but the Australian women's daily activity percentage has risen so much.
Okay, Abdul, Mr. Ryan, I like to help you in accordance with the question requirement. Question requirement: the percentage of Australian men and women doing regular physical activity in 2010. This is the first tense. The things happen in the past, so we have to explain all things in the first tense. So before that, we need to get some information like from the graph, from the bar. The bar is percentage and they are the group of people. First one, 15 to 24. Second one, 25 to 33. Third one, 35 to 34. Fourth one, 45 to 55. The next one, 55 to 60. And then the next one is the 60 over. So we can classify, here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 group of people. And their percentage of doing physical activity. So we understood the bar chart. Now we need to explain, make paraphrase. Wayan, can you please tell me how many paragraphs you need to write down? First paragraph should be introduction. So according to that story,
Yes, sir.
what did you? Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Carry on, please.
What did you write in the introduction paragraph?
In the introduction paragraph, I need to write down what has been asked to write.
Yeah. So here,
according to,
question,
I need to write what I understand from the question.
Yeah. In your own language, own sentences. So
Yes,
not copying the sentence. You should not copy the sentence.
Yes, sir.
You have to
I
write
should
down.
not write what has given in the question, I need to write them in my
Synonym
view.
word. Yeah. So in your view, you have experience. How can you explain the sentence? Explain the question of your own sentences, not
Yes, sir.
copying the question.
Yes, sir.
Can you please explain the question of your own words?
Yes, sir, I can.
Yeah.
The bar chart that has given below shows the percentage of Australian men and women in different age of groups who did daily physical activities in the year 2010.
So you have copy many words from the questions. I have suggested you not to copy the questions. You need to explain. If you use some different word like the
So
chart.
due to lack of practice, I can't really tell
So
you
I'm helping you.
the
I'm
way I
helping
want
you.
to.
You can write down lines, a word like the bar chart, illustrate, or you can write bar chart, give us information, or you can say bar chart explain the information about the physical activity done by men and women in Australia, where
Yes, sir.
there are many group like the group of young people, children, young, old, and the older people. So this is the question we explain of our own sentences, and we will do same things in the IELTS writing task 1. The first paragraph we need to write down. We need to explain the question of our own language, own word. Because we know in IELTS, what does it mean? IELTS means International English Language Testing System. What does it mean? You don't need to write something you're memorizing. Every sort of thing we need to be habituated to write of our own language, own words. So the very important thing for us, explanation of my own language is very important thing. What we understand the question. So, Mr.
Yes.
Rayan, this is about the introduction. We explain. What you will write. Next one is the overview. So, can you please explain what you are suggested to write overview? What you will write in the overview in accordance with the question?
Sir, in the overview, I need to write down the difference. First, I need to write the difference between the women and men who did the regular activities. Whether
So,
their regular activities has risen up or risen down, whether they improve or didn't improve. And I also need to write down the difference between the men and women.
okay, it's very better to conclude in a short sentences that the highlighting is required, like
Yes.
here the most of the women, most of the people who did the physical activity in Australia, they were the female, were from the whole group of people, female were higher in terms of doing physical activity than male, but the male children were more active, more active in terms of doing physical activity than female. And this is about the overview. But we need to conclude
Yes.
2-3 sentences highlighting point. Highlighting point, you can see that's in the question that children did physical activity. Among them, the male member were higher than females. On the other hand, the all group people are equal in terms of doing physical activity, but the people who are young people, old age people, or the youth people are participating the physical activity different way. So this is the overview in all the writing test paragraph. We are suggested to write down the focal point, the main things, main point, concluding some things very short way. Then we can go to the body breakdown. Okay, Ryan, can you please share your comments, your view, what you need to write in the body paragraph in accordance with the questions? You understand the question. How will you explain the body paragraph?
So in the body paragraph, I need to write down everything in details, like the Australian men and women who did the regular activities, the age between 15 to 24, where we can see the Australian men has done the activities more than the women. And as the days go on, age 24 to 34, Australian men has done less activities than the women. And as the years gone by, the Australian women has done the work. They have been rising up their activities. But if you look at the Australian men, they are not doing well. And if you look at the age between 65 and more, you will get to see the Australian men and women. They are both doing the similar kind of activities.
Good.
So as
So
we
I will,
as
yeah.
yes, sir. Even though Australian men who are doing well, uh, than the men, than the women, but at the years gone by, we can see the Australian women's daily activities has been expanding, but Australian women's daily activities were down.
Oh, good. So you explained very well. So I like to help you to include more thing like that in the body paragraph. We like to start from to begin with the main activity done in Australia, those who are 15 to 18 to 25 years old, the men member were ahead than the female member. They did
Yes.
50%, 52% physical activity. On the other hand, female were only did 48%. So the person who the people, Australian people who are 25 to 40 years old, that mean the young group people, did different way physical activity. 42.2% did by the male members, and on 48.9 did by the female members. So, but their percentage participation of the physical activity is fluctuatingly changing year after year. So, or the when they grow up, they are participating till 50. The male member till 50, they are physical activity. From 25 to 40, 54, 54. No difference. No difference. They were doing similar percentage of physical activity. That's about the 40% to 55%, 45 to 55%. And on the other hand, the female member of Australia, they had many record of big physical activity in terms of the female who were 25 to 65 years old. They did physical activity more than the male members, which were approximately 48% to 55%, the percentage of the physical activity. But the people who are older, mean the older 55 years old, their ratio or their percentage is same than male member in terms of doing physical activity. That's our the 46 to 47% they did physical activity. This is
Almost.
about the first one. We need to explain using some familiar word, using some complex sentence. Better to
Yes,
make the
sir.
sentence fast way. We have started many techniques, many writing techniques. The thing is that if you are able to write sentence in passive voice, if you are able to write a sentence, complex sentences, is very helpful to you. But more important thing is that explanation should be clear to the readers, to the examiners.
Yes, sir.
So,
So I have a
Ryan, you can
question.
understand. Yes, please.
So here we can see we need to write at least 150 words.
Yeah.
So if I write above 150 to 200 words, will that be okay? Or this?
Okay, but the thing is that you can write 200 word is not a big deal, but you have to be concerned that whether you are writing irrelevant something, you should not write something irrelevant points, irrelevant some information you should not include. If you can
Yes, sir.
explain directly way the question requirement, doesn't matter, you can write 200 or 220 word, it doesn't matter. But you have to be concerned that you should not write something irrelevant. The
Yes, sir.
irrelevant some no information have to be write down irrelevant way, but have to be concerned the question requirements. Or keep explaining the question requirement, no matter 200 word, 220 word, it doesn't matter.
So I found
But
this kind of diagram or pie chart and bar. I found them very difficult.
it is very easy if you know the way of writing. It's not a big deal for the IELTS candidates, but because here they give more information. Just explain their information. What do you understand the pixel? So the task
Yes,
one,
sir.
you have the information. Just explain what you understand. Explain your own sentences and making paraphrase, introduction, overview, and the body paragraphs. It's very simple things. So there's not a matter of concern that you cannot do well, you will face problem. It's not matter like this. If you understand the question, it's very easy to write down. But the
Yes, I know.
thing is that you should have knowledge about writing of your own sentence, own knowledge. This is very important.
So if I understand the bar paragraph or chart and other things like diagram, then I'm sure I can write down very 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 clearly and
Yeah, you can write
efficiently.
down. You can write down. Yeah, you can write down. Your writing should be clear to understandable to the examiner or the readers. So this is very important for the IELTS writing task. Whatever, sometimes we are habituated to write some things indirectly, which is not helpful to understand by the reader or examiner. So you are not supposed to have a good score. To have a good score, very important thing is that what we understand, we need to explain our own language, and then you help us to have a good score. So I think Sabir may have experience. Sabir, can you share your experience in terms of writing IELTS, writing task one?
So do I need to explain this part?
Yeah, of course, of course. If you can follow us, then you can explain of your own way. What you understand the question, how you explain the question of your own sentence.
The given bar outline portrays the extent of Australian people of various age bunches who did actual work routinely in the year 2010. Generally speaking, it is very well maybe seen that ladies of all age bunches, aside from those in the 15 to 24 age bands, were genuinely more dynamic than men. In 2010, 52.8% of men in the 15 to 24 age bunch did active work consistently. During that very year, the level of truly brawny ladies was 47.7%, The extent of truly dynamic men continuously diminished as the age expanded. The least truly progressive men were those in the 35 to 44 age bands. Just 39.5% of them practiced routinely in 2010. In the contrary, ladies in the higher age bands were more genuinely dynamic than those in the lower age gatherings. The least genuinely potent among them were those in the 65 or more age bands. All things considered, among these age bands, the extent of people who practiced consistently was pretty much something similar. So this is all about this bar
Thank
chart.
you, Mr. Sabir. Thank you. Your explanation is very fine, very fantastic, and you understood very well. So I hope from you you will have a good score if you follow the method, or if you try to write down like this way, you can have a good score. But you understood very well to the way of writing task one. So I recommend you keep practicing yourself and submit your writings to evaluate your score. I think you can have a good score in the writing test. And
Okay,
you
sir.
are now. So I would like to ask you some more person who are new here. Okay. So now we are like to discuss about the writing task two. We may have some experience about writing task two. Here, the writing task two is the essay writing. So before that, can anyone please can Sabir or Rayan can explain the way of writing task two? What how many categories of task two we need to write down? Rayan, can you please explain? You have experience over writing task two. What are the way of writing task two, and how many categories of writing task two we need to write in our final test?
So in part 2, we need to write first a paraphrase, then we need to write two body phrase, then we need to give an example whether we agree or not. We need to write our opinion. Then we need to write the conclusion. There will be five part in the. There will be five part in
Paragraph.
part 2.
Paragraph.
Yes, sir. There's five part in the paragraph.
First one is introduction. Second one is whether it is agree or not. Third one is the agree. Next one is
Answer.
the
Fourth is
conclusion.
one example. If I can.
Example maybe included. So the Rayans in our
Yes, sir.
classes, what have you learned to achieve your goal? For example, you are looking to have a 7+ score. Which method you need to write down the essay?
First of all, I need to understand the question, and then I need to write a body phrase according to my own language or according to my own vocabulary. Then I need to give an opinion whether I agree or not. Then I need to discuss about the opinion what I have given. Then I need to give an example. Then I need to conclude the
Here in the
paragraph.
IELTS writing task two, there are 3 categories of writing. First one is that the controversial one. Sometimes the question require your opinion. Sometimes they require both views. The second one is advantage, disadvantage,
Yes, sir. I need
positive,
to
negative
write
side.
according to the question.
Okay, third one, sometimes the question require the origin and soul. So, Ryan, can you read the question? The question you are watching in the screen.
Yes, sir. Some people believe that it is good to share as much as information possible in scientific research, business, and academic world. Others believe that some information is too important or too valuable to be shared freely. Discuss both these views and give your own opinion.
Right. So, Ryan, what the question requirement? Are they requiring your points of view, or are they requiring both points of view?
Sir, they're not. They're require. The question required both these views, and I need to give my own opinion also.
So how will you plan to write down to add some point that in the supportive or agnostic? For example, some people believe that it's good to share as much information as possible in scientific research, business, and academic world. Other people believe that some information is too important, too valuable to be shared. So what do you understand? I like to learn from the other person. Sabir, can you please explain what did you understand the question? What is the question requirement?
The question needs to explain about the positive and negative sides of to share some information about scientific research. And
So
I mean the advantage and disadvantage.
No, this is not advantage, disadvantage. This is only points of view, whether you support or not, whether some people support that the information should be shared as much information should be shared as possible, should be shared. More information have to be shared, some people say, but some say no. Only few important information can be shared, otherwise not. This is a controversial topics. This is a controversial. That means you have to understand the points of view. That are you supporting or not? Which point you are going to write down? So for example, someone say that the much information need to be shared, but some say like a scientific or research, business, and academic world. For example, we need to share our scientific research, our business information, our academic information as much as possible. But some say no, we need to share just very important information. We don't need to share all the information. So this is a controversial one. This essay is a controversial one. That means we have to bring some point logically that if I support. Now, before writing this, you need to plan down the supportive points and agnostic points. So before writing down, we can note down some points supportive, like this, that the person say every kinds of information can be shared. Information of science, business can be shared, academic can be shared. So what logic can we bring? Can you bring some logic in favor of the statement that every information of science, business, and academic can be shared? So Sabir, you can have some note down some logical points. What logical point can you bring, please, Sabir? Can you include some things of information? Please, Sabir, can you share your comment there? What logic can you include to support the statement that the information of education, science, and business need to be shared?
Sir, both parties have their reasons for arguments, and I personally believe that the scientific studies, academic arena, and businesses can be greatly benefited if all the information is made open to them.
Yeah. So you think that both are supportive, that you supporting both. We need to share all information, or we need to share just specific information. Which one you are like to supporting?
Sir, not all. Which is, if I share anything which is not being harmful for my company, then it will be fine to share with the people.
So you are going to.
There should be a secret. There should be a secret information which company should keep inside them.
So you are going to write down that you are not going to support that all information need to be shared. Whether we need to share some specific or valuable information, and that you are not supporting this one, are you?
No, sir, I am not supporting this.
So now you have to start like this. First of all, introduction. Secondly, you can start with your points of view. Like according to me, I don't support the I don't like support these things that the all information should be shared. Just some specific information can be shared, and you need to bring some point. First of all, this is my logic. First of all, secondly, thirdly, and you can include an example. Then on the other hand, you can write some other people's opinion. The person who support that all information need to be shared regarding education, science, and business. They have some logic. There's first logic, second logic, third logic. Then an example. Then finally, you can conclude that both view that both are important. You can conclude that both are important and important that the specific information or other information should be shared. So you have to learn to write down some logically. So Mr. I would like to ask Ryan, can you please explain how can you write down this thing?
So I think both there should not be any specific information should be shared. I think every information is useful, and who knows, you never know which news helps people. So we need to share each and every single information, not only some specific information.
So you are talking about you just thinking about the all information need to be shared. So what are your logic? What are your logic? First of all, you can bring your logic there. All the information of science, business, and economy need to be shared. Now bring some your logic. First of all, secondly, thirdly.
Information like scientific research, business, and academic world, these are very important, but you can't deny the other important or valuable things. You never know which news helps others. You know, if you share each and every information, it can be help someone some way.
So we can write like this way. First logic is that the information regarding science, business, and academic need to be shared to the people around the world.
Helpful, but
for example, if we share our information of science, the science knowledge will be spread around the world. People will be benefited. Somewhere in the world, people are deriving from the information of science. They are not innovating something, so they are better than the first world countries. So if the information of science and technology education will be spread equally in every part of the world, people may have the benefits for new innovation. Do something. This is the first logic. Second logic, you can bring third logic, and you can bring a supportive example in supporting with your logical points. The example like this, for example, you can mention like, for example, people of the third world country are depriving because they don't have much information about the science and technology. They don't have new innovation, so they are better than the first world country. Financially, they are facing so many crises. If they have the information, they can innovate something, they can make some sort of thing, then their economic will be developed. This is the good example. Sabir have mentioned that we should not share our information like except some very important. So Sabir can bring a logic that if we share some information like the science and technology, except some our valuable information, it may be danger for the nation. For example, if the army of a nation or a country share their vital information to others country, it will get harmful for a nation. So all information should not be shared except some valuable one. You can bring some example of the Al-Qaeda from the battle of the Iraq. Saddam Hussein, you can bring some example. Saddam Hussein some people used to share their information, and the American soldier attacked their country. Then they have collapsed the country Iraq. Some relevant example can be brought in terms of for supporting the writing task. So, Sabir, can you please add some more thing in accordance with the question?
So in terms of sensitive information that could penetrate state security, lead to public outcry, hand over technologies to terrorists, and facilitates corporate monopoly in the trade sector deserves to be scrutinized before making them public. And in this digital era, information spread like wildfire. And for the sake of maintaining global peace, it should be delimited. For instance, if nuclear technology is shared with all nations for scientific studies, the world will soon stand on the verge of obliteration. Despite an conceivable possibility, this technology possesses to facilitate the citizens. So the sensitive information that could create harm to any state, that should be limited, and that should not be shared with all the people, which will cause harm, or which will cause problem, which will create problem to
difficulty for a nation, which may the nation need to be cost for the things. So
yes.
your logic is fine. So you can bring the logic that we should not share all information, expect some valuable like this. We can share some information that is very important thing. For example,
Yes, sir.
the
Also, in
medical
terms of, sir,
information.
in terms of our company, like Coca-Cola is sharing what the processing of their making energy drink, but they are keeping a main secret within them. They are not sharing the real actual recipe to the all people.
So it's a good example. It's good example. Coca-Cola is sharing many information that to sell the product, but they are not. But you can some the pandemic corona situations. Some information are should not be hidden, because if we hide some information, people around the world will suffer a lot. So the pandemic situations or the information of corona, information of the medical science should not be hidden. So it have to be spared to the people, every corner of the world, people will be benefited. So your logic is fine. So we need to explain this way to have a good score. Now I like to show you more writing tasks about things that other categories of writing tasks. We will have some more information regarding this. So for example, if you have something like this, you can have another categories of writing task 1. As we have discussed in the previous classes, diagrams. Diagram are 2 categories. One is step by step. Another is the proceedings or some map, building construction maps. So Mr. Sabir or the Ryan, you have some experience writing diagrams. Can you please explain about the diagram as you are seeing in the screen? This is the which method we need to explain these kinds of questions. Ryan, please, you have experience. You can share your experience by writing these kinds of map. How will you explain the map in your final draft?
So I'm finding it difficult to explain. I'm not understanding the diagram.
So I like to make you clear that the diagram show you the map
Yes,
will
sir,
show
please.
you the center of a small town called Islets, as it is now, and the plan for the development. So here you can see the map, present time. Islep town,
The
the
map
central
is,
time, there's a countryside shop. Yeah, this is the map.
yes, sir.
This is
The
the
map
map.
is
This is
showing
the
the
construction.
prediction of the
Yeah,
town center.
yeah, town centers. Prediction that the present time, present situation, and the future development. So we have explained in our previous classes, when you will write this kinds of map, you have to follow something, what are at the present and what will be the change, or what were the first, 3 times. What were the past, what are the present, what will be the future. 3 focal points we have to focus for writing this kinds of map. For example, first of all, you will explain the question in introduction paragraphs. What you understand, you can explain the map, you illustrate about the town center of present time and the future developments. This is about the introduction. Then you can write down overview. In the overview, you can write down there are many things. There are very few things at present in the town center, but they have a future plan to construct, infrastructure, more many things, adding like the housing, bus stop, or others. This is about the overview. Now you can explain some first paragraph, third paragraph about the present time. In the isolated town, the present time, there is a countryside. In the countryside and the north side of the isolated town, there's a shop both side of the main road, and the housing estate is the south side. There is a park in the corner of the housing estate. Then you can explain about they have a future plans. In the future, they have some plan to construct something like a new housings. They will build a new house. Bus stop will be evacuated in the western corner of the shopping center, and the main road will be turned into pedestrians only. The road will be constructed circularly around the city, not centrally city. The road will be constructed around the city, a large road maybe, and there will be the double carriageway. Housing estate will be located in the east side of the town, and they will make some park, new park will be constructed in the north side of the town. So this is about the explanation. You have to explain these categories of question. What in the present, what were the past, what will be the futures. Now you can share your view. How will you explain, Mr. Sabir, please? How can you explain the question?
So first I will talk about about the whole idea of this diagram, and then I will give an overview of the diagram. Then thirdly, I will talk about the current situation, what is happening in the first diagram. Then the fourth paragraph will contain the prediction of future scenario of this development plan.
Okay, very good. So can you please share your view how you are going to explain in 150 words in 20 minutes?
The given maps illustrate the current and predicted future town center. Overall, it is clear from the maps that some pedestrianization is planned for shopping and housing area, while a new road for vehicle is planned to frame this area. Focusing on the current map, the town center is developed around the main road, which straightens from the west to the east. There are many shops to the north and to the south of the road, whilst it is mainly consisted of the countryside in the north.
Right.
A big area is occupied by housing in the south.
Right.
The area is limited by a park in the east and a school in the southwest. Both
Right.
of these structures are connected to the main road by side roads.
Right.
Then moving onto the predictions, a circular road that goes around the city center attracts attention. This road expected to be built is a dual carriageway.
Right.
The middle part of the main road is projected to be pedestrianized, although the southern part of ISLIP is not designated to see big changes other than some new housing and a shrink in the size of the park. There are many changes planned for the northern part. Shops in this part will be demolished, and shopping center and housing area will be introduced. Uh, Additionally, a bus station and a parking area are also planned to be built to the west and east of the shopping center respectively. So that's all.
Okay, you have explained very finely. You have experience to write down. This is a good way to write, and you are supposed to have a good score. And I recommend you to practice more and more. Save your time in 20 minutes. You can explain at least 150 words. So if you practice more and more, you can improve your skill. You can have your expected score. This is my expectation. So
Yes, sir.
and now things that we can see some writing task 2 here. Here is the advantage and disadvantage. As we have discussed, advantage, disadvantages, 3 categories. Sometimes you are required some advantages, disadvantages. Sometimes you require to write down the region and so. Here the question is that at present times, population of some country include a relatively large number of young adults compare with the numbers of older people. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? So you may have experience about writing the advantage and disadvantage. Can you please submit, give your knowledge, share your experience, write down this kinds of essay?
Sir, it's a lengthy essay.
So you can make paraphrase. First of all, you can make introduction, then you can go through the writing that what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages, and then you can write down a conclusions, and you have to add some example. This is about we have discussed more things that you can write down. So Ryan, can you please share how can you explain this kinds of essay when they require the advantages and disadvantages?
So first of all, I need to write a paraphrase. Then I need to write the advantage or disadvantages, and I need to elaborate that question, and then I need to give an example, and at the end I'll conclude the paragraph.
Okay, we gather idea. So I like to suggest you to write down, to try yourself, to write some sort of theme, IELTS writing, task 1 and task 2, practice yourself, and then you can do better. The very important thing for us for the IELTS, every part, reading, writing, speaking, listening, need to be practiced more and more. We are guiding our learner to have your expected score, and if you keep touch with us, we will try our best, level best, to provide you your expected score. But
Yes,
very
sir.
important for you to spend time for practicing more and more, submit your homeworks on the group, and your trainers will evaluate your score, will suggest you that you are deleting this point. You have to emphasize in the point. This is very important. This is our final class, and I would like to suggest all the participants who are participating our courses, and who still who are afraid that you are not eligible to sit for the exam. You have a chance. You can join with us in the next sessions. We are going to start the next session the next week. So you are recommended to join the next session. So you can have practice your IELTS preparations. You can have your desired score. Thank you very much for the classes. I like to learn from you. If you have some question, you can ask me.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
According, so it's about the reading task.
Okay.
So there is 4 or 5 paragraph in each of the 2 parts or 3 parts in the reading module. I think
Okay.
I found it very difficult. I can't manage the time or can't find the answer at ease.
Okay.
I think it's a bit
You can
tricky.
manage the time. So yeah. Did you participate in my all reading classes, or you have missed some classes?
No, sir, I haven't found your any reading classes.
Oh, so I like to recommend you, if you restart your courses, we will have a lots of reading classes, and I have discussed more many techniques to save our times. How can you save your times in 1 hour, in an hour? How can you budget your time? How can you solve the 40 question? We have instructed more many things, and in our classes we have conducted many classes in reading module. So I recommend you for the next session. If you join our reading classes, you will be more benefited, and you will be guided to how to save your time, how to manage your time, and how to answer 40 questions. I suggest you to join the next sessions.
So it's very difficult to read the whole paragraph within 10 minutes, then answer the question.
So you don't need to read the full paragraph. Just read the question first, underline the question main point, and come back to the passage, finding the key point, then find the location of the answer. Read the line 2 times. You don't need to read the whole passage from top to bottom. That's
So
why.
So you
That's
mean to
why.
say, first of all, I need to go through the question, then I need to
Question. You need
then I
to
need
go
to read
through
the
the
paragraph.
question pass and understand the question. You can find some key points. When you find the key point, not through the passage, and there is the word screening, skimming and screenings. By screening, you just find the location of the question, then read. And there are many discuss we need to understand you. So that's why I recommend you, if you join with our Facebook group, we have many reading classes, or if you rejoin our next session, you will be guided very perfectly to save your time.
So that means I need first of all I need to go through the question, then I need to read the passage.
Then find the location. Find the location of the question. Not need to write all the passage. Because if you read the whole the passage, you will waste your times. You cannot manage your time.
We just need to follow the skimming.
Skimming and screening.
Yes, sir.
Skimming and screening.
Yes.
Then you directly go to the location where the question about the passage discussing. If you find the key points of the question, you can find the location. Then you can find the answer very clearly, and which save your times.
So I think I need to practice more and more so that I can do it.
Before practicing, I like to suggest to join our reading classes. Then you can understand very clearly. But you need a guidance to learn the practice, save your time. Then you can practice and you can succeed to save your time.
Yes, sir. I got it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone who are doing the classes with me, reading and writing. I like to suggest you, we are with you to help you to. So this is the ending courses for this basic, and we are going to start new base. Thank you very much for joining with us. Thank you.
Thank you.